Meeting. I'll call the meeting to order and invite you to stand and pledge the flag to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, at this time can we have the roll call of the people at the table here?
Melvin Boyd.
Here.
Arthur Zerby.
Here.
Jerry Long.
Here.
Mike Reinert.
Here.
Bill Cassidy.
Here.
Carl Mark.
Okay, at this time we have a community open session, which we'll try to limit it to 4 minutes per person. If we have extra time, we can go a second round. So is there anyone who wants to speak tonight? All right, go ahead. You got 4 minutes.
I know that this is the time of year for the elections, and started seeing election signs pop up, and I know the township has an ordinance about election signs. And I'm wondering if the township is going to be enforcing that, or no, in the past it's been enforced pretty strenuously by Mr. Zerby. Even his roadmaster is enforcing the ordinance. I just wanted to see if the township is going to be good on the sign.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Wait till it's done. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, that will conclude the community session time. Would you like to respond to that?
I've seen the signs, both ends of Lashtown Road in Lashtown. I got a hold of our zoning officer, Mr. Hoover, and asked him if he could find out who put the signs there to let them know that they have to remove because they can't be out at this point. I don't know if you found anybody. If they're on private property, you could even talk to the property owners, you know, that they can't be there. But one thing that came up, I got a whole bunch of signs that'll go out and through the Republican Committee. But there's a lot of people in Chester County that wanted a sign. And I'm finding out in Chester County, even though they have ordinances or no ordinance like we do, they have to follow the county because the county supersedes township and municipalities. And theirs is 30 days. All of Chester County. So at this point, I'm pretty sure ours is 60 days. And I guess we'll stick by that unless we hear different. But if you could, Levi, talk to the property owners that they should be removed. And but I've seen them. They got to come down at this point.
Will they be permitted at the council days? Yes.
They're not supposed to be displayed anywhere yet, you know. And it says on private property, you know. So, to be fair to everybody, one person could put one here and say, well, that one's not along the road, and then the next one gets a little closer and closer. And I remember back in the 90s when the township went around collecting them. And I don't know if we should do that, you know, without consent, or letting the property owner know at least that they were picked up, and then if somebody wants to know where they went, they can't just go out and say that they were stolen, you know. At least they'd have knowledge that somebody picked them up and where they're at that point. So, yeah, I'd like to put my signs out, but can't. No, but it's been started already.
I agree. I agree with Arthur. I think the township would continue to support the ordinance. It's 60 days, and it's 60 days, and that has always been my impression that we stick to that, unless we change it. But yeah, would be the intent to enforce our ordinances.
Yes, I'm curious why given the free speech issues, why it's even more, people advertise their products all year round, or advertising their opinions. That seems to be
There's no. Oh, sorry.
Well, I know the reason why the ordinance is in place. It keeps people from advertising their intent on offices. Because the benefit of those companies that have that rule in place.
It's clutter and distractions is what they do.
I know where there's signs from the spring election yet. I know where there's a sign along the road that's been there 5 years. No one's ever picked it up. And we have a time, people should pick them up when it's over, you know. But some don't.
Okay. You just have a copy of the minutes in your packet. Are there any additional corrections for the minutes?
I've read the minutes and make a motion we approve the minutes.
I second it.
Okay, the motion was made to approve the minutes as they are, and the second, those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay, you have the bills.
I went over the bills, and I make a motion we pay the bills in the amount of $91,315.80.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, the motion was made to pay the bills as listed in the second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, you have your reports. We have the Roadmaster's report. Anything you want to add? Well, I want to stress that how important it is that you guys, are safe and seen out there. My niece just got rear-ended out in front of Martin's Trailside because someone was adjusting their GPS. Safety's got to be the top priority. And, I don't drive around, we don't drive around looking to see what's going on, but make sure you got your attire on, your scene, you got the reflective stuff, safe and seen.
I was very pleased to see when they were working on Stone Hill Road this past, was that 2 weeks ago, a week ago? That they had flag force there, yes, directing traffic so that they could work unimpeded. Worked out really good.
Well, the safety issue is such a big thing that I asked if we had actually have a policy, a written policy, and I think Carol's doing some work to see if we do. In my opinion, it would be similar to PennDOT. So, again, everything you can, safe and be seen.
Oh, can I make something?
Yeah, sure.
The thing on a policy is, with insurance, what our insurance costs every month, whew, for workers' comp. And then you go through the courses where they stress they take you through everything as far as safety and cones and attire. Helmets is one thing. Must we spend the time and money to go through with a policy, it's just my question, when it should be common sense that you'd want to do these things to keep yourself safe, for the roadmaster to make sure that the road crew is safe, because if something happens and they're not in the proper attire, he's going to be the one in question, But we can't afford to have something happen and somebody's not wearing the proper attire. It's something that they should, with common sense, automatically be doing something all the time out there. So, I don't know if you in this process, if you see what other townships do, But this isn't an issue what other townships do. They all go through the same training courses, and they all know, or you don't pass the course. They all know what's required and what's not required. But that's my only comments.
Okay. Okay. The next report we have is. Okay.
I have several items tonight, and I'll actually lead off with one that's not included in my report tonight. We received a letter while I was on vacation, ironically, from Norman Zimmerman. Norman's here tonight, and maybe I'll summarize what his letter says to the board, and then if Norman has anything to add, we'll go that route. 10 years ago, Norman did a subdivision and a lot add-on plan, created 3 new building lots. As part of that, we obviously collected financial security for the 3 lots to be developed. Mr. Zimmerman has presented a letter here indicating that there's no intentions to develop those lots at this time. Many years have passed. I think the letter of credit dates back to 2008. The expiration of that comes up at the end of September. Usually 30 days prior to that, the bank reaches out and asks about renewal of that letter of credit. I believe Mr. Zimmerman was looking to have that eliminated, that financial security burden for that development at this time. We have done this for other projects in the township. I think we did it for, and I can't recall the 2 subdivisions that we looked at. One was on Silver Hill Road.
Silver Hill properties was one, and the other one was on Silver Hill, was
Mr.
Jack
Boris?
Boris.
Yes.
I think I forget the gentleman's name, Isaac Rudek.
Isaac
the
Rudek.
original.
In those examples, what we did is we came to an agreement with the township and the developer to release the letter of credit, provided he enters into an agreement with the township that Mr. Cassidy would prepare. Basically, it would memorialize the fact that we'll release the financial security provided the lot owners, the individual lot owners would then provide that financial security if and when the lot gets developed. Again, we don't know when that may occur. Plans change, obviously, if they would change their house prints or something like that. Stormwater may change, the requirements may change, and so forth. So this has been done previously on a number of occasions. The only other issue is that there's soil improvements that were done out there. I have not been out there recently to check the status of that. We are holding a small amount of money for maintenance of those swales. So that is something that we may want to have either the roadmaster or myself or both go out and look and make sure that that's in good order before we release the final security. Those are my thoughts on that. Norman, if you had anything to add? Sure.
Yeah, one of the main reasons I subdivided that back in the day, shortly after I purchased that property, there was a landlocked property behind me, and they called me out and said, hey, we have access to legal access to our property. So when I decided I'm going to survey the thing and do all the paperwork, I might as well split it up to get the lot back on, because I had to survey the lot, annexation lot for the nation, and I got them out. So that was one of the main reasons back in the day why I did the subdivision. I had no intentions back then to know how I was going. I was just going through the process and decided I'll split it up as much as I can. So I was and now I have more tanks, so.
What is the dollar amount currently being in escrow?
I believe it's
5,000?
5,000 for maintenance of swales. The total letter of credit was $55,113.91 for the total subdivision.
Did you say 55,000?
55,000 for the entire subdivision, which includes all 3 lots being developed.
And he's requesting a release of 5,000?
No, he's requesting release of the entire amount. All I was pointing out was 5,000 of that letter of credit is being held for maintenance of the swales along the road.
And you're saying you will continue to hold that?
My suggestion would be to have the roadmaster and myself go out and look at that. I don't know what the status of it. I haven't honestly been out there in a number of months.
So you've already released 50,000?
We have not released anything to this point, no. This is actually his request tonight, is looking to see if we could release the letter of credit. My suggestion or recommendation would be to have him enter into an agreement with the township to memorialize that. That way, in the future, if they would ever be sold, we could collect that financial security from the individual lot owners instead of both.
Okay. So what are you recommending tonight?
Exactly that, and I think the first motion, and Bill may want to chime in, but it's just to authorize Bill, provided Mr. Zimmerman's in agreement, to have the agreement drafted, would be to authorize Bill to prepare that agreement, and then at the next month's meeting, you would act on that accordingly.
We have done this before, that it's prepared in recordable form, so it's recorded in the courthouse. And
Okay.
there's a sale of the property, that's a public record. They can't get a building permit issued to them unless they come to the township and ensure that the financial security is put in place. That financial security will be, established the way the MPC provides for it. They have to, provide the cost estimate, give it to Mike to review, depending on what they're going to do as far as the land development is concerned. So they're going to have to go through that whole process once again if they want to develop the land.
So let me just go over this again. So right now he has $55,000, and if he agrees to this agreement, and it's drawn up and legalized, then we will release all 5,000.
Well, the amount is $55,000.
And that is 55, but what I would also suggest is having the roadmaster and myself go out and look at the swales. And if everything is maintained properly and there's no issues or no repairs done, then I would say you could probably release the entire thing.
What are other lots?
Yellow Hill Road. They have frontage on Yellow Hill Road.
I guess I still don't understand, because it says they're requesting $5,000 to release.
That was
That's an
That's an
old
old
letter.
letter.
$9, I think.
That's just,
That's just info. That was just the paperwork that went with the original.
right.
Well, I'll make a motion that we authorize Bill Cassidy to prepare the agreement to protect the township, and that the responsibility is passed on to the future owners of the property.
Now, that would make part of that motion, though, the fact that you're directing the engineer and the roadmaster to go out to the property to ensure that the maintenance of the swale is being maintained. If that's the case, they'll report at the next month's meeting, when the agreement's before the board for possible action. Right. Mike and the roadmaster say everything's fine, then they'll report that to you, and if it's something you want to do.
Okay, well, I'll add to that the engineer and the roadmaster would visit the site and prepare a report for Bill to finalize his letter.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we had the motion and a second. Those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Okay. I'll move along in my report. On page 2, I have several financial security releases tonight. The first one is Mr. Lawrence Martin, his stormwater project on off of Reading Road. Issued a letter today that I hope
It's in all their spots.
got in the spot. Okay.
Yeah, they were right in front of you. It's right here. It was right in front of your table.
I was out this morning doing some inspections last minute here. Lawrence Martin has completed his stormwater project. The recommendation is to release the remaining amount, which is $8,217 for that project.
Can you repeat that amount?
$8,217.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we had a motion to release the $8,217. Is there a second?
I second it.
Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Next, also on page 2 is the former Marcus Martin, David Brubaker property, 1508 Dry Tavern Road stormwater project. Issued a recommendation to release $2,375 and withholding $375 for the maintenance security.
I'll make a motion that we release $2,375 of Marcus Martin and David Brubaker's stormwater.
I second.
Okay, the motion was made and second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, I also have Lamar Hoover's stormwater management project. That's 1352 Hilltop Road. I have a recommendation of release in the July 18th letter of $3,000 and a withholding of $500 again for the maintenance security.
I'll make that motion to release $3,000 from Mark Hoover.
I second it.
Okay, the motion was made and seconded. Those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, at the bottom of page 2, Nelson Burkholder Stormwater Project issued a letter today dated August 9th. That project's on 1420 Dry Tavern Road. That release recommendation is for $3,800 and a withholding of $600 for the maintenance period.
Make a motion that we release the $3,800.
Very good.
Okay, the motion was made and seconded. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Oh,
Motion carries.
Okay. On page 3, I have the Paul Hoover Stormwater Management Project. This is just, we're waiting on some information from Mr. Hoover. And we did get a memorandum of understanding, so I'd recommend accepting the memorandum of understanding with Mr. Hoover.
I make a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding for Paul Hoover.
I second it.
Okay, the motion was made and seconded. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. The next one also on page 3 is the Catherine Herzog Stormwater Project. I have 3 items for you this evening. I have the memorandum of understanding. I also have a financial security recommendation in the amount of $1,650. And finally, I have a stormwater management agreement that's been signed by Ms. Herzog.
I make a motion that we accept the memorandum of understanding between Brecknock Township and Catherine Herzog.
I make a motion we accept.
Second on that.
I'll second
I'll
it.
second.
Okay, we had the motion and it was second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a
Motion
motion.
carries.
We accept the financial security amount for Catherine Herzog in $1,650.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion was made and seconded. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. I make a motion that we accept the stormwater management agreement between Brecknock Township and Catherine Herzog.
I'll second that.
The motion was made and seconded. Those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Also on page 3, I have the Sun Valley Campground Land Development. They have given us a letter dated August 4th to grant the township an extension of time until November the 8th, 2016 for action under land development.
What is actually going on there?
Well, they had originally put a land development plan in, and I would say, was it a year? It probably is 2 years, almost 2 years now. And we have not, we've issued a letter, we've gone through one review with the Planning Commission, and they're making revisions. I'm not sure what the status or what the holdup is, Mel. It may be redesign issues, it may be financial issues. They usually don't indicate what the reasons are once they ask for or grant the extension.
I make a motion to accept the extension of time for Sun Valley Campground Land Development.
I second it.
Okay, the motion was made to grant the extension of time, and it was seconded. Those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Okay, and last on page 4, we have for the Armada Builders Andrews Way Lot 4 land development plan, I have a financial security recommendation in the amount of $89,878.80. And I also have
Stormwater management agreement.
yes, okay. And we have 2 agreements tonight for action by the board. One would be the stormwater agreement, and then the second would be the developer's agreement for the land development itself.
I make a motion we accept a financial security in the amount of $89,878.80.
I second it.
Okay, the motion was made and seconded. Those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I further move that we accept the stormwater management and developers agreement.
I second it.
Okay, the motion was made and seconded to accept the stormwater management and developers agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Unless the board has questions, that's all I have tonight.
After approval.
Did you say something?
And after we approve the report.
Okay, you have zoning, SEO reports, and solicitor has any report? Okay.
Make a motion, we accept the SEO, zoning, and solicitor's reports.
And roadmaster.
And roadmaster.
I second it.
Okay, the motion was made to accept the reports as listed, and it was seconded. Those in favor say aye.
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 One,
Motion carries.
one thing. Out on Bowmansville Road, just down from Wenzel Road, somebody's putting in a inlet box deal there. Is the township involved with it at all? Yeah, they haven't formed up. You might want to spin out that way rather than somebody do something that's going to restrict the water flow and puddle it out into the road, or lay the water over to the road to where it keeps the base of the road soggy and then we lose it. You might want to see what they're doing there. It's in the road right away. So
Okay, we don't have any park and rec board report. Is anyone here from the park and rec? No?
I have a report. It's a Pokemon spot. People come from all over to catch Pokemons there, and at the flagpole's a Pokemon playground, and they come from all over.
Okay, we have nothing on old business. We have an item on new business. And I wanted to report that we've concluded the employee evaluations of all the township staff. And we got that done. Also, I wanted to discuss another issue here. In January, I'd asked if the previous board had allocated any funds for a general cost of living increase, and was told that they hadn't, so we didn't do anything at that time. But the staff, some of the staff did tell me that the last couple of years it's been kind of lean, and I promised them that I would do some research into the past history. And so I had reviewed all the township increases for the township staff over the past 12 years. And I compared that at the same time with PSAT's bi-yearly wage and benefit survey results. And our township has been a little lax on keeping pace with the state average for townships with populations from 1,000 to 8,000 residents. That's the one we fit into. And since January of '09, this township only had one general across-the-board increase where all staff and employees were included. Now, since January, I think this board and our staff did some things that generated some savings to the township. The road crew did some roof repairs that saved the township some substantial money. And one of the larger savings that the township did when we hired a township resident as a part-time zoning officer, we literally cut the hourly fee that we were paying in half. So my proposed cost of living increase is entirely paid from the savings that we already generated. This proposed increase will not have a negative effect on our deficit on our 2016 budget. And this alone would not require any increase on our future budgets, because we would cut costs, and we're using that. The proposed cost increase is not reflective on our recent performance evaluations. They were done in the middle of the year so that if there were issues or things that we needed to work out, they could be addressed before the reappointments are made in January. So performance and merit increases will remain at our reorganizational meetings. This is just simply a cost of living increase that over the years our township has been a little light on. So I'm proposing a 3.5% cost of living increase to all township employees, full and part-time, that have been employed for at least 6 months to date, and take effective August 1st. Increases should be adjusted to the next highest quarter dollar increment. This increase will cost about $3,000 for the rest of the year, and it's about a $7,500 cost annually. But like I say, we already have generated some savings that will pay for these increases. So I make that as a motion, and if there is a second, before we vote on it, I will allow the audience a chance to express support or opposition to it. I said if there's a second. The motion is second.
Well, I will second it.
Okay, we had the motion and it was second. I said before I would call the question, I will allow the audience to offer support or opposition. So go ahead.
Possibility of rate increases, of course, was discussed every year. And we recognize the fact that the employees paid no part of their health insurance. And that health insurance costs in the township were going up, and I assume they're still going up. And that by letting the employees continue to not have to contribute to the health benefits, gave them a tax-free increase, whereas if they got 3.5% or whatever percent it would be, their tax burden would be increased. So we were not ignoring the good performance of the employees. We were just rewarding it in another way, which gave them a tax-free benefit.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, at this time I'll call. We had the motion.
May I make some
Sure,
comments?
sure.
Very valid point. Yes. Now that I think back,
Oh, yeah.
very valid point. They didn't get the increase because of the cost of the health insurance, which now is, ooh,
We do contribute that.
yeah.
As of January, we started
But
contributing.
now-
Yeah, not a lot. No, I'm just saying, so everybody
I
understands
think
we
this,
do.
this is my opinion now. Maybe we ought to hold off till next month to see how much they were rewarded. Should I say it that way? I don't know.
Well, I've checked that out too. I've checked everything out. This wasn't just a spur of the moment thing. I had actually prepared an extensive spreadsheet that I passed on to Carol. And yes, we are somewhat, our benefits are as good as most places, but to continually not provide something a little more tangible is what leads to feeling like they're not appreciated. And just continually do nothing, I've taken that into consideration intensely. But like I say, we have not kept pace with other townships of similar sizes, and this is just a merit recognition of what they've done, and hopefully that we can provide something. Yes.
What is the contribution of employees? This is the first time I've heard it.
The contribution.
When the rates went up last year, the employees paid the difference in the increase in the rate. So it's a little bit different across the board. You see what I mean? It was no difference to the budget on the township. It didn't increase any payment out for the township. The employees just pay the difference of what the premium increased for each, whatever you're enrolled in, whether it's family. So it was no impact on the budget at all.
Has the insurance increased since then?
No,
How much does it cost for the insurance?
I don't remember exactly.
You mean the amount of bills? Levi?
Yes.
Well, I'm not employed 6 months yet, so I'm not impacted either way, but I think if they are now paying some of their health insurance, that's actually a decrease if they didn't get a raise. If they didn't get a raise and didn't have to contribute to their cost of their health insurance, cost of living still went up.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying that if they didn't get a raise and then had to contribute in addition to not getting a raise for their health insurance, they actually got less income. Yeah, I would say, from what I'm hearing, unless I'm not hearing it correctly. So, I would recommend, or I did my recommendation that the increase be given.
Well,
I'm speaking as a citizen.
yeah.
I think it's important to note that Levi does not have any benefits, right? So he's not getting free health insurance. Thank you, Levi.
Any more discussion? Okay, I'll call for the question. We had the motion, and it was second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I think that concludes. Is there a motion for adjournment?
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Okay, the motion is made and seconded to adjourn. Good night, and thank